much here. Hello, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity. Before I start the talk, I'd like to give you a little bit of a background about myself. I kind of have been in the gaming industry like you guys for the last 25 years. Started way long back with a game called Ragnarok Online, which was kind of the first game to enter India for Indians to play. I actually have my colleague from those days, Saishri, here in the crowd. She's heading up Epic now, so it's very incidental we both are here. And then kind of I was behind the brand Zapak. I've worked in various sectors. I've gone broad beyond gaming. I've seen the ecosystem beyond gaming. And the reason I'm giving you the story is because the story or the solution I'm going to present to you is something that I have seen as a problem area for my gaming companies that I've been a part of, right? And there is this cyclical issue that we all go through, right? One is effective monetization. This, I think, is a broad game developer problem or a founder's problem. And that's because there is a squeeze on the kind of money and profits that you can make, right? Your taxes on stores range from 15 to 30%. You're actually being squeezed all the time, and that's not just it. After that, you've got to spend on marketing. You have to take all the other loading costs. By the time you end with it, it's a vicious circle. And I've had the opportunity to see it from a board angle, right? And a lot of times, investors end up actually seeing it as a cyclical, vicious circle, and they get out of it saying, this is not a profitable business. And so, what defines a web shop? Sorry, I don't know how it skipped. All right, sorry. All right, so idea is that increasing of your paying users, keeping more revenue, and effective monetization are a problem area that everybody kind of lives with. And so, the solution I want to present to you guys, how does it work? Is a web shop, right? And it's very simple. A web shop is, sorry, this is a little jumpy. What's happening, guys? Yeah, go ahead. You're doing it? All right, so keep going. I'll let the slides come on, but next one. So I think the web shop is the best tool for mobile developers to launch web sales. Simply, imagine an e-commerce shop for your own game, right? Where you can actually go direct to consumer, sell in-app purchases directly to your consumer for the same app that's available through the web store. And that's kind of the solution and tech that we've built. We'll give you best practices. We'll make you understand how that works. But that's essentially web shop. Do we have my video here lined up? Yeah, let's play the video. It'll give you a sense of how a web shop operates from your app. And so exactly how the video goes is as easy as that, right? And it works seamlessly. It works on the back end. The back end is powered by Xsolla's PayStation, which is our payment module that Eric spoke about. Next slide, please. The strategy that I think all of us, and I'll take some more time on this rather than going deep into the solution, we can talk about it separately, is what we want you to think about is for your consumer to think that game is where I play and web or web shop is where I pay. Now, why do I say this? And there is a strategic reason for this. Please understand that the value of a company does not lie in the revenue of a company, right? A lot of you may not be founders or you're developers. If you are founders, then you would understand the pressure, right? The multiples of valuation are actually sitting inside the data that you have about your consumer, your understanding of the consumer, right? And that's important because that's a currency. Data is the new oil. All of you know about it. And why is data the new oil? Because it can be used for many other things on top of what you're building. So please understand that that's the behavior pattern that you want to build with the consumers. Yes, absolutely, it's about making more revenues, saving more costs, We charge just 5%, by the way, for whatever you do through our web shop. So that's like a direct saving of 15, 20, 15, almost 15% or more. But the way I would want you to see is more from an angle of how much richer data that you'll start getting from your web shop. The web shop is your own shop. Go ahead, please. Next slide, please. There are two kind of solutions that we offer on a web shop, right? One is an instant web shop, and one is more like a deeper web shop. An instant web shop can launch in 24 hours flat. We released this in GDC this year, right? So it's much easier. Some of my older partners are here, so it's now much easier as against earlier time. And then there is a more D2C web shop 2.0 experience that you'll kind of see in a moment. Next slide, please. An instant web shop, as I spoke about. Next one. Now here I want to show you something, and I'll tell you to cue it in a moment. But it's a deeper web shop. Now this is an experience which is a lot more immersive. This is not just a place that somebody goes and just transacts and buys an IP, but this is a place where a consumer can be engaged with your brand and your IP. Let's show the web shop for Pokemon Go. Now this is the live web shop of Pokemon Go, which has been built by Xsolla and Xsolla's web shop solution. Now this is a game you all know about, and what's exactly happening is it's an environment of the brand. If you keep scroll down, yeah, just hold here. It's the environment of the brand. Please remember one thing as developers, gamers come to your game to play your game. They don't come to your game because of a store, right? Your game is the IP and the currency that the gamers are after. And please start valuing it and start nurturing it. That's when you'll build an IP and again build value. But see this, what is Pokemon Go doing? Pokemon Go is actually presenting special packages, special kind of in-app purchase bundles on their web shop, and that's how they're engaging, right? So that's how a typical web shop looks like. There are hundreds of more. Top 50 out of the top 100 game developers, mobile game developers in the world use Xsolla's web shop technology to launch a web shop. There's also customization. It's understanding. We use ML and to understand where the user is coming from. This is because this browser is live, actually accessing it from India. It's showing India pricing. You go in US, it'll show dollar pricing, and similarly in Australia, and so on and so forth. So that's how an actual web shop looks like. We'll switch back to the presentation, please. Next one. And so, as I said, web shop is about a personalized experience to your developer about your game, and then obviously a better offering of your game to your consumer, right? And offering better pricing, better social media experience. And please remember that it actually works hand in hand with your marketing strategies, right? Go ahead, please. Next one. I think, as I said, what you can do is you can do a lot of things on the web shop, right? Like I was showing you on the Pokemon Go website, exclusive offers. Go ahead. You can build loyalty and reward systems into your web shop. Next. Personalization and engagement, right? You can actually craft personalized offers that speak to different consumer cohorts that you can build, right? So that's possible now. Go ahead. Improved user flow for more conversions. You can actually structure the user flow much better, much faster, the way you want it. And as Eric spoke, very important thing, please remember that your consumer is used to paying through a particular payment method. So they're used to it. If you don't offer it, then there is a chance that you may drop, you may lose them. So that's the power of the Xsolla Pay Station at the back of Xsolla Web Shop. Go ahead, please. What does a web shop bring to the game? Next one. I think these are in numbers. This is just to give you a sense of some data that is not available on data.ai. Please let me tell you that whatever web shop revenues get generated don't get reported on data.ai. What you're seeing there is IAP revenues, right? So let me show you some examples to tell you what's happening globally through web shops. So go back. 30 to 40% capture rate. This is the capture rate that we've seen on our web shops, and this is just average numbers. There's about 10 to 16% of incremental revenue on what you have. Please remember, I'm again pressing on the fact that it's incremental revenue. We are not talking about an either-or strategy. We're talking about a strategy which works hand in hand with your current strategy of being on app stores, right? You can have your web store or web shop, and you can have your app stores. And so that's incremental revenue on top of whatever you're making at this moment. Go ahead. I'll skip through these very fast, but this is proprietary data, but this is see the numbers. I'll let I don't actually look at any other number on this slide, but just the web shop revenue number, and keep seeing this window here, right? So that's an actual game. We've kind of, for information reasons, we've kept the number, but keep looking at the revenue that each of these companies, go ahead please, mobile football game, $9 million, $50 million kids RPG mobile game. This is just web shop revenue. Go ahead please. $1 million, and then ARPU numbers, everything is a positive. And there is a reason for this to be positive, which I'll speak about in a moment, and maybe in a talk that I'll have with a partner of ours in a moment. 4X strategy game, again, $35 million of revenue, right, on top of what they're making. Go ahead please. Simulator mobile game web shop, right? And at this moment, I'll hold on a little bit, right, and actually let you meet our first web shop from India, right, and the founders of Godspeed Games who are here. They are the innovators. They actually have launched their first web shop. So I'd like them to be on stage and just talk to you about their experience, because nothing better than them speaking to you about what they have experienced and why they've launched a web shop. Thanks. We can go to the web shop. The next slide. Next slide. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Dhruvan and Ranbir. You guys obviously are part of the same community, so you would know them. If you don't know them, they're the founders of Godspeed Games, based in Pune. Dhruvan and Ranbir, thanks for being here firstly. And I was actually telling the crowd in Delhi and Bangalore, where I couldn't bring you on stage, unfortunately, that the first time we entered your office and you showed us the web shop, we were surprised, Jaden and I, right? Because usually we've seen web shops being launched for one single game. I think Godspeed is one of those innovators who've used the web shop tool to launch something which is an independent web shop called Spellwagon, which is a multi-game web shop, right? So how did you kind of think about it? How did you come to the web shop strategy? If you can share it with the audience, right?
Yeah, thanks, Pranab. Good morning, everyone. So first time actually we started using Xsolla was many years back. This is not 1 year, 2 year back. Long time back, we started using Xsolla as a service when we build the web shop for some really large clients. And when we built the web shop using Xsolla, we saw the uplift that those games got. And you shared some of those numbers, similar numbers we saw as well. Like the uplift was more than $1 million. I'm talking of just the uplift, not the revenue, in fact. So uplift of 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and we worked on around 10, 15 games using Xsolla. So now that our own business strategy has changed, where we are having our own portfolio of games, and we are adding around 2 or 3 games, AAA games, AA games on mobile every year, it was almost a no-brainer to use Xsolla to have the same benefit. And I think Eric already mentioned some of the advantages of the problems that you would have with the payment, right? We as creators of those games want people to pay in any way they prefer, right? I mean, you can also pay using Steam Wallet. There are options of that also. You can pay using crypto, but the transaction that happens between Xsolla and the creator is in fiat still. So we get paid in the local currency, but the taxes and the compliances and all of that is handled by Xsolla, right? That's one of the biggest advantage. And then when we started creating the web shop, we wanted to create it like a social platform, not just a web shop to sell items and bundles. They are there. And that's why we want to create so that multiple games are part of the same ecosystem and it becomes like a social platform. There are YouTube streaming going on. We can share those links as well. Some of them are already updated in the new version of the web shop. There are events going on. So we wanted that social interaction. So the idea of a multi-tenant web shop rather than a single tenant web shop. That was the whole idea.
Thanks so much. I think that's actually the right use case of a web shop, right? Like it's using the whole gamut of powerful tools and solutions behind a web shop. So my next question is, there are a lot of questions that I see from developers, the worry of, what if I do it? What will happen to my, store, relationships, right, for that matter. And if you can share your experience of the expertise. I keep telling the developers that we do share a lot of best practices, right? And we work with you, our integration teams work with you on making you understand how to operate in a manner that your current business on the stores don't doesn't get jeopardized at all, right? Like, how was your experience on onboarding?
Yeah, that's a very important point. I think one of the key factors that as developers you have to do is also involve the community, right? Because there will be resistance in terms of first-time users will be like, why am I going to the web shop? Is it something different? Is it legal? Can we still use it? Those are the questions. But again, because we had the prior experience of dealing with those questions in the community, we kind of handled it in the right way where we did a small soft launch with few of the top gamers or the game masters in our games, showed what it is. They enjoyed it thoroughly and the process. You had a video showing how seamless it is, how easy it is. So they really liked it. And they became the voice for others. They started telling others, okay, you should use web shop for purchasing because you can get discounted offers, you can get exclusive offers, and it's just 5% platform fee and the payment system. So there is a bit of resistance, but if you have a community manager and you can manage the community saying how easy it is and the advantage of it, I think then they adapt to it very well. So we are getting revenue we just launched our first game on the web shop with Battle Legion. 2 more games we are going to add to the web shop very soon. And it is just the initial resistance that comes in where people ask, or the gamers ask, can we use this? But then it's a very simple process. Most of them come to the Google Play Store, Apple Play Store, the revenue comes from there, as well as the revenue comes from there. So it is it's not cannibalizing anything, it is just an addition of your revenue. So 10-15% is kind of the same numbers that we have seen as well, is the uplift that you get.
Thanks. And thanks for sharing that, right? And I'm sure you'll have more conversations with the community out there. You should reach out to Godspeed, learn from them. I think from my perspective, this is a use case, right? Of some, I keep saying this. We are a hub for B2B business in India, right? We are the biggest, best games in the world get developed here, right? So you guys are servicing mostly best of the West in the world. And if you have that same talent, why aren't you applying it to your B2C strategy, right? And to your direct-to-consumer strategy. So I think Godspeed's example is exactly that. We have more partners. We have partners like Nazara here. We have many more partners, that you'll see very soon. So I'll be happy to kind of speak to you guys as we kind of go offline. But experiment, research and develop. And thank you so much, Ranbir and Dhruvin, to be here.
Thanks, Pranab.
I think we've run out of time. We'll skip the slides. I think it's kind of an end of it. Just go to the next slide quickly. I think this we spoke about. We work with the best of the best in the world. But that's not it. Our vision and mission of our founder is equal access to everybody. Everybody has to get access. So for us, indie is the same as a large developer, right? So as Eric said, please catch us and we'll make time for you, right? Next one, please. Webshop best practices, just go ahead. I think I'll run through this. This is more about messaging, incentivizing, and reducing friction. Go ahead, please. You have to, if you want to change user behavior, as Dhruvin was talking about, you must provide them significant value, a significant reason to be there. And once you do, there is no reason that a consumer will not come to your web shop and buy from your web shop as against anywhere else. And so, how this approach helps is more, this is more finishing it off. This is, I think, the end slide. We are here. We are available. Thank you so much. Sorry for running over the time. Please catch me offline. Thank you so much.